Alright people, this is a bit of a different video in terms of this is very personal to me, and I'm really talking to you from a place of pain, if I'm honest, where I'm not really thinking in the most logical way, and nothing around me right now really fucking matters until I've gone through what we have gone through, what we need to go through, and that is the cycle of grief. So I wrote down what I want to say, and I think it's poignant, and I'm going to read it from my notes, right? So, title of this video, I'm going to call it True Soul Mates. Now, you might think of that term as in the New Age spiritual bollocks, which talks about twin flame and all that, and it relating to a partner. But you can have many soulmates. So they say people come into our lives for a reason. Well, I believe it is the soul of that individual that comes into your life for whatever reason, to help you in whatever way they are needed. The soul of that individual may be a person in a human form or an animal of some kind. The certain commonality is they show themselves when you truly need them, even if you don't know what it is from them that you need. Example here is back in 2019, before the start of the pandemic agenda and before my awakening to what is truly happening, and also to what we truly are as soulful sentient beings having a human experience in this physical form, two poignant things took place in the lives of myself and my wife. First, we bought a beautiful French bulldog that we named Daisy. We bought her as a puppy from a breeder when she was just 15 weeks. The second thing was about 6 months later, after we had her, just before the pandemic bullshit began, we moved to the New Forest, to a beautiful place. After me living nearly 10 years in the city, or at least the urban outskirts, the combination of raising this beautiful little Frenchie, who, as any Frenchie owner will tell you, have the most unique and soulful personalities that you will ever find in a dog, along with living and bonding with beautiful Mother Nature of both the forest and the beach, at the time of our said awakening, quite literally got us through the 3 years of craziness that saw so many souls lose themselves and fall into despair. Fast forward to 2023, where now much of the real agenda behind the COVID has transparently made itself plainly obvious, at least to those of us who are awake, in the sense that we can still and have all of this time applied critical thinking to all the false fake narratives. Unlike those that can't think for themselves and just blindly follow like the Walking Dead. We are now at a point where the New World Order totalitarian agenda is scarily advancing, and have to make some hard choices in terms of what side of the fence we sit on, as well as the choice to stand up in our sovereignty and shout our truth, even if we stand alone and become further and further divided from the rest of humanity. Anyway, after 3 years in the New Forest, it became necessary to move. We decided that the three of us would base ourselves in the beauty of the West Country of England and embrace van life, travelling around after investing time, money and sincere effort into doing up our Sprinter van and just going exploring. So far we have done many places in Wales, Devon and Cornwall, coming back to the place we are based, which in itself is most beautiful. Approximately every 2 to 3 weeks, we have been returning to the south to see family and take care of various teaching and work commitments, then returning back to our base setup. This time we left on the Wednesday, and tragically by the end of the Sunday, around late afternoon on September the 3rd, our beautiful Daisy was cruelly taken from us, ending her life of the most beautiful little French bulldog Daisy. The fractal of consciousness that expressed life through that most amazing of characters was robbed of her life-filled soulful expression at just 4 years old. In that time, we gave her the very best of all elements of life that we could. That little angel was loved more than anything in our world, and should have had at least another 10 years of sunshine in all of our lives. Without going into the details of her tragic death, the so-called normies of this so-called civilized society will put such things down to a tragic accident. These things just happen, they will say. Others, leaning toward the New Age spirituality camp, will say she came into your lives for a purpose and has left because her work is done and is called elsewhere to help others now. Make no mistake. We are in a war, a spiritual war, where the prize is your soul. I absolutely feel that a dark, nefarious energy had a part to play in taking away our Daisy. It seems to me as your own awareness develops in terms of awakening, you seem to become a target for such dark energy. It puts you on a radar and then sends in its sentinels to fuck with you and hurt you in whatever way hurts most. So this year alone, for me, has been the worst year of my life. I've had 2 incidents where I've been hospitalised and almost died after, not being so sick with anything so much as a flu, and not going to hospital for years and being robust and fit and healthy. 2 situations occurred that nearly ended my life that were mitigated, and I got through. And then this with my Daisy, which clearly wasn't mitigated, and she was taken from us. Now, regardless how anyone may think about what I've just said, it is your opinion is totally fucking irrelevant to me, alright? So, without being rude, I know what my sense of knowing tells me. And it doesn't come from a programmed mind. It comes from my gut, my heart, and critical thinking. What I feel with every fibre of my being is my knowing, and I know what it tells me. And there are plenty of people, I'm sure, that can fucking relate to what I've just said. Particularly as we approach the end days of this simulation. Nonetheless, I do believe that certain souls find each other for a significant reason and purpose. The point of focus I'd like to finish this with is bittersweet. Understanding that if you are fortunate enough in your lifetime, perception of this virtual reality simulation that we are in, to realize that the soul spark authentic part of each sentient being on this planet is indeed part of the whole. By the whole, I mean the etheric consciousness of all creation. We are just a fractal of that same, living out our perceived experience through whatever organic form we happen to inhabit. Then, if you're truly lucky, you will have other unique soul expressions that will come into your life. It might be just once, and this could be a person in the form of a friend, a lover, or a partner in life. Or it could be a dog, or a cat, or a fur baby of some kind. Someone or something that makes the very fabric of your soul complete. Our Daisy was that soul spark of totally unique characteristics that expressed an absolutely joyous manifestation of pure joy, love and happiness. She taught us how to laugh from the deepest part of our belly and love from the true depths of our heart. That is the precious part that deserves gratitude of unmeasurable limits. This is the sweetness of that life. The bitter part is when a turn of events that unexpectedly takes that soul expression away from you, leaving you desolated and barren, with your own soul at a level of critical. I buried that little dog on my friend's farm 10 o'clock in the evening on Sunday the 3rd of September. And she was buried amongst 4 other little furry soul friends that my mate had laid to rest over the years. And a place where she was buried, which isn't where I am, but is where I went. And where I stay when I go there. The place is beautiful. And she loved it. She loved the short time that she'd had there alive. The body that housed that amazing fractal of creation's consciousness has gone on for sure. Has gone on for sure. I believe that she is back to the main frame of all creation, from which we are all an expression. The form of Daisy, the Frenchy bulldog that gave that conscious spark, such a myriad of facial expressions, auditory noises, and absolutely joyous movements of her physical expressions, not to mention her unique ways, habits, loves, likes and dislikes, totally unique. So much so that when and if our souls ever meet again, in whatever form of energy and light, I will know it is her instantly. If you have had such a soulful expression in your life, regardless of shape or form, if you still are fortunate enough to have such an expression, a soulful expression in your life, regardless of shape or form, then go to it at your first opportunity. The next opportunity you have, if you have such a soul expression that gives you that kind of joy that I'm talking about, and it's still present in your life, the very next opportunity you get, go to it. Pick them up and breathe them in to your soul space. Spend a few minutes there, being truly there and present with them. And tell them that you love them and appreciate them for all that they are. Then give appreciation and take stock of what you have. And imagine how you'd feel if it was no longer present. it left you, if it was time for it to leave. Finally, be absolutely present in every moment spent with them from now on. And remember why they are here. Your life is rich indeed. Peace.
What's your head?